Hey you guys, it's Katya with Hindustan Astrology here, and in this video we are going to discuss the month of May 2024 Vedic Sidereal forecast. Now this month we definitely have less activity than last month. Last month was really a doozy. But this month we have a couple big things going on that are going to really flavor, how the rest of the summer is going to go. And right off the bat, on May 1st, we have Jupiter going into Taurus. Now, this is quite significant because, he only changes signs once a year. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so this is his enemy sign. And so Taurus has to learn, all of the Venusian ways. While he travels through Taurus, he's got to learn about money, um, beauty, the land, material wealth, those kinds of things. So um, it's not always his best sign, but I feel as a collective, it's going to be quite positive for us. Now, the 2nd of May, we have Pluto going retrograde, and this is going to really shake things up because um, he's going to cross the United States Pluto degree, which is 6 degrees, 49 minutes of Capricorn on July 18th. So this month he starts his retrograde back towards that degree. And when we hit it last time, that's when things, really flared up with the wars overseas. Now we also have Mars is making quite a transit this month going through Pisces. He's already gone over Neptune, which has shown us a lot of, Neptune is tied to the oceans and is tied to airplanes and things like that. And we've seen the airplane industry kind of get, turned upside down with all the things we've discovered with Boeing. But also, oil prices, they're going up. It's crazy. Um, but he's already passed that degree, and Mars is going to go, oh, you know, conjunct Rahu here pretty soon. And I think it's around the 25th. We're going to go over it in the presentation, but he's going to be doing quite a tap dance over Pisces this month. And Mercury is now direct, but will be hitting his um, Gandanta zone again. And, he's debilitated in Pisces. Um, and so, yeah, we have, a lot of things going on. And I think the real clincher is when Mars is going to go over the previous solar eclipse degree of 25 degrees of Pisces, and that will be on May 25th. So, without further ado, let's take a more detailed look at this month. All right, you guys, here we have it, May 2024 Vedic Sidereal Astrology Forecast. Now, this is not Western astrology, so please do not use your Western signs when you're thinking about this, or rather the Western placements. We use the Sidereal zodiac, so it is about 24 degrees behind the tropical, which is what Western uses, but is from our position on Earth looking up at the night sky. So it is very accurate. All right, so May 1st through the 7th, right off the bat, as I said, Jupiter enters Taurus. And this is, Jupiter's guru. He is like the professor or the preacher, right? The actor, somebody who gets up on stage and lectures other people about the truth. But he gives us hope. And, in the sign of Taurus, Taurus is an earth sign, and it's all about material wealth, work hard, play hard, learning how to um, enjoy the pleasures of life, but also how to get your hands dirty in the soil. And so here, Jupiter, is in his enemy sign, Venus, and he's got to learn how to attract Venus. And how do you do that? Well, Venus likes things clean and sparkly. She likes things organized. She loves beauty. So Jupiter's going to have to really, change his tune here and help us achieve these things. But, he is the great benefic. So wherever he sits in your chart as a transit, that's the house that he'll be protecting for that year, right? Because he stays in one sign a year. So, um, we're already in that energy. And then May 2nd, we had Pluto going retrograde. And as I said, for the United States chart, they actually have a Sagittarius ascendant. So it's the second house. So, second house is what we take into our mouth as food. And last year I predicted that food would really be affected while Pluto's retrograde, um, which is our Pluto return, right? Don't forget, we're in our Pluto return for the United States. And food prices have shot through the roof. It is unreal. And a lot of it has to do with oil prices and the cost of transportation for goods. So, we're going to be going back over this territory again as Pluto goes retrograde, and he will go back and conjunct the United States Pluto on July 18th for the second time. Now, in the United States chart, our Pluto is retrograde. So having Pluto retrograde in the sky on top of our Pluto retrograde is definitely going to produce a big event. Now, second house is also money. And as you've seen, they keep telling us that the interest rates for the mortgages are going to go down, but we have not really seen that happen yet. So it's going to be pretty back and forth with that this summer, I do believe, especially when Jupiter goes retrograde, which I believe is in July. I don't want to go too far into that. I don't want to misspeak, but right now Jupiter is in Kritika Nakshatra. He'll only be there until like June 4th or something like that. And then he'll switch to Rohini, and Jupiter will do much better in Rohini because Rohini is ruled by the moon. So this is kind of like, a false start in a way with Jupiter entering Taurus and then the Pluto retrograde happening. Really, I think in June we'll get more of a forward momentum. Plus, May 4th through June 3rd, Jupiter will be combust the sun. So, anytime any planet is conjunct the sun within 9 degrees of either side, it's called a combustion. And that means that planet just cannot operate properly. And the sun really cannot operate properly either because he's overwhelmed with too much energy. So combustion, makes Jupiter kind of inept until he gets away from the sun in June. And then we have Mercury in the Gandanta zone again, but he's not retrograde this time. So that's May 16th through the 13th. Now, if you remember last month and you were having problems with communication, emails, contracts, all that stuff during the retrograde phase, when he goes and crosses back over those degrees going forward, we may touch upon some of those issues we had last month, but we'll be closing them up. And once he goes into Aries and gets away from the Gandanta zone towards the end of the month, he'll be much better. But we're just kind of tying up loose ends, I feel, the beginning part of this beginning week of May. And then on May 7th, we have our new moon of this month. It takes place at 25 degrees, 30 minutes of Aries, Bharani Nakshatra. So you can see up here all of these planets, Venus, Sun, Moon, Uranus, all in Aries for the new moon. And the new moon is a new start. It's fresh energy. And Aries is the first sign, and it's about pioneering things, adventures. It's about, on a mundane level, automobiles, any vehicles, real estate, And then Bharani is the star of restraint, and it's about birthing a new reality. And so this, I think, is going to be really good energy for this new moon. It is happening, on the East Coast at 11:22 p.m. And so we will, hopefully be able to see that little sliver of the new moon, which lets us know that, the light is coming back. Um, this is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the soldier. Excuse me. So, we've already seen so many things happening with the war in the Middle East and what's going on in Ukraine, all of that could crop up again. I know they've been talking about giving them more money, so Congress might actually do that. Um, Unfortunately. Now, as it is ruled by Mars, we want to see where Mars is. And Mars is back here in Pisces, 12 places from the moon. When Mars is behind you, you can't see who are your enemies. 12th house are secret enemies. So we could have some more war cropping up around this time. I know, Israel and Iran have been going back and forth. They stopped for now, but very well that could flare up around this time. Saturn, when Jupiter was in Aries, Saturn was giving his third aspect to it, um, putting a lot of tension and pressure upon Jupiter. But now Jupiter stepped away, and they are making what's called a square aspect, and that is also difficult. So at least Mars has stepped away from Saturn. That's the good thing. So this new moon, I really feel like it's kind of like leading up to something, especially the full moon in 2 weeks. And, we just had our Jupiter-Uranus conjunction when he was back here at 25 degrees. So this new moon is taking place on top of where the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction was. So if you remember, that's about when the university protests here in America really got ramped up, right? So we definitely will see a change with those protests around that time. I know they're already cracking down and stuff, but there's a lot of civil liberties being trodden upon, literally. So it's going to be interesting. And, still we have poor little K2 all by himself down here, isolated from the rest of the planets. And this just really makes everybody more sensitive, more feeling isolated as well. And, things are in the shadows still. I know we just had our eclipses, but, there's some things hidden in the shadows, some manipulations that we are not seeing right now. So just, just pay attention to this. I mean, really having Rahu, Neptune, they're getting ready to conjunct 12 places from this new moon. There's going to be a lot of secret enemies and things building up during this time. Now, May 8th through the 19th, May 10th at 9:24 a.m. EST, Mercury enters Aries, which also is the same day as Akshaya Tritiya. And so this is when we have Sun in Aries exalted, Moon in Taurus exalted, and it brings wealth and abundance. And it's a great idea to worship Goddess Lakshmi, who brings abundance and wealth. So it's a great time to do karma yoga, which means donating to charities, helping the needy, doing selfless service is a great time to do this. Also in India, they like to buy gold on this day. It's supposed to be whatever you do on this day, the energies are amplified. Then May 14th at 8:24 a.m. EST, the sun enters Taurus. So happy birthday to all the Taurians. We love you for your stability, for your ability to enjoy life. We love your food. You're usually great cooks, and your love of family. So thank you for being a part of this reality. Now, when the sun shifts into Taurus, he's stepping away from Aries, which is where he's exalted. And like I said before, sun will be with Jupiter until June. And so that kind of, sun's energy kind of takes over when he's combust other planets. Now, May 19th at 11:36 p.m. EST, we have Rahu and Mars conjunction at 20 degrees, 44 minutes of Pisces Revati Nakshatra. So this is going to be very intense. I want you to be careful of accidents, be careful of road rage, be careful of anger, be careful of your words. Just really bite your tongue if you have to. Try not to get yourself into situations where you're finding yourself at battle with someone. Because Rahu is, he can really confuse things. He's all smoke and mirrors and deceptions, and Mars wants to fight. So make sure that you've got the facts straight first before you get into some kind of an argument, okay? But in general, it really can exhaust our adrenals as well. So don't get stressed out. Do something, go outside and walk, go swim, just do something to release the pressure valve, because it's definitely, we're all going to feel it. And then also on the same day, Venus goes combust the sun. So Venus and Jupiter, the two gurus, are going to be combust the sun. So we're kind of losing their protection a little bit. So just be careful of your vitality, making sure you're eating right, you're sleeping right, all that good stuff. Now, May 23rd at 9:54 a.m. EST, we have our full moon. And the moon is debilitated in Scorpio. It is in Anuradha Nakshatra. Moon is actually debilitated at 3 degrees, which puts it in Vishaka Nakshatra. But in Anuradha, he's debilitated in the whole sign. And Anuradha is the star of success, and it is associated with Radha. One of the deities is Radha. So the deity of Anuradha is Mitra. And Mitra is one of the Adityas, or aspects of the sun, and it is about devotion and friendship. And he actually rules all contracts, protects them, and he is like the best friend of Krishna. But Krishna's wife, Radha, also is associated with this part of the sky. So because she's very devoted to Krishna. And so, having a debilitated moon means that the moon can't properly do his job. And moon's job is, helping us deal with our emotions, subconscious, the mother, real estate, all that kind of stuff. So when the moon is debilitated, we just can't see, we just can't see the depths of our emotional problems. And also, moon is isolated from other planets. So this is called a Kimadruma yoga. So debilitation and Kimadruma will bring out mental health problems. And you know how it goes with full moons, y'all. People go nuts. And so you better be certain the crazies are coming out on this full moon. So be careful. I wouldn't be in public places around this time, especially with Mars and Rahu coming together. It's just going to be a very tenuous month. Now notice that Saturn is giving his 10th aspect to this full moon as well. That is going to definitely bring out the depression and the anxiety in just about everyone. So, this full moon, I'm just going to say, like, try to stay out of the public. Um, we just, Mars and Rahu, this is the big problem, is that they're still very close together. And then in 2 days, excuse me, my allergies are so bad right now. So Mars is going to be at 25 degrees, 12 minutes of Pisces, which is where the previous solar eclipse degree was on April 8th. So whenever Mars crosses over a previous eclipse degree, you can bet there's going to be some kind of an event. And I think, uh, it's just, all of the war and all of the things with, what's going on with the authorities and the universities. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter rules higher education. And in Pisces, he's more concerned with spirituality. He's more concerned with freedom, liberation, those kinds of things. And so this is why you're seeing so many protests right now, is because want us to break free of the chains that bind us. So this is just, it's going to be, you know, um, not as a heavy month as last month, but we're definitely clearing the air, clearing, the energy as we move into this Jupiter and Taurus phase. All right, you guys. So that's pretty much it for this month. Mars is just kind of doing a tap dance over everyone, and Mercury's going over old territory. And, we've just got some stuff to clear up. But I feel like, the big thing is going to be when Pluto retrograde really goes over that US Pluto degree on July 18th. So, until then, we've just got to kind of lay low. If you want change to happen, it's best to use it with the law rather than force. As they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. And so that's my advice to a lot of people right now, is to be careful of Mars. Don't let yourself get, too impassioned to the point where you're putting yourself in danger. But, we all have our role in this life, right? So all right, you guys. So if you want to get a reading with me, just go to hindustanastrology.com. And also you can go up, if you live in the Indianapolis area and are local, I give readings every Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 6 p.m. at Inner Path South. That's in Greenwood on South Shelby Street. So hope to see you there sometime. And as usual, don't forget about my book. You can find that on Amazon. And we also sell it in the shop as well. So until next month, namaste. Sending love and blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Bye.